Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 12th August 2020, and these are the articles we'll be dealing today. The first article for the day is taken from the Hindu and it is titled India's Population Data and a Tale of Two Projections. So recently there was a study in a journal called Lancet and it has shown some very surprising results with respect to our population. Whenever we're talking about the population in our country, we envisage India to be one of the largest countries in the world with respect to population, wherein there will be a population close to 1.8 billion by the end of this century. But surprisingly enough, this journal has projected that the peak population would be 1.09 billion only. And surprisingly, it said that it can even reduce to 724 million. That is much lesser than what we are today. So this is to say that Indian women will give birth to less and less number of children. So the fertility rate of women at 2100 is projected to be around 1.29 only. So if you take the present situation, a lot of southern states have fallen below the total fertility rate, where the replacement level is 2.1, and many northern states, especially Bihar, has a high population and the total fertility rate there is around 3.2. So this happens to be the only state in our country right now with a TFR above 3. Now what is TFR? It is the potential number of children that a woman can reproduce in her productive age. On the other hand, we have the UN population estimate that India will be having 1.64 billion people by 2050. So in this context, it is quite surprising to believe that Indians would be preferring lesser number of children than Americans and the French. So this has been an anomaly for us, given the cultural stance that we have always taken for more number of children. If we take a look at the history of family planning in India, we have had little success when the government took the initiative through forced sterilization, especially during the emergency eras, that is in 1970s. So during this time there was barely 17% decrease, but after the LPG reforms were carried out in 1991 till 2015, there has been a whopping 35% reduction in the total fertility rate. So what does this tell us is the concept of family planning as such has no relevance in Indian policy parlance right now. The reason being, unless and until it is coming from the people themselves, we cannot enforce or ensure that this policy is up and running, and we cannot ensure that we can stabilize the population unless and until we have the cooperation of the people. One of the reasons for the fall in the total fertility rate is because of the growth in nuclear families, wherein we see the parents are more committed towards their kids, because with the rise of women's participation in labor force, there is increased income at the family's disposal, and which allows that family to ensure that their kids get better education, better opportunities, and therefore we have had a generation where families see that the quality of life of these kids is very important rather than focusing on the number of children. So we have moved from a cultural context where a larger family is preferred to a small nuclear family. So the preference is to have low and lower number of kids, and that is why this 1.29 number seems very plausible in the future. So if ever we have to plan for our population, the policy should focus right now rather than on coercive methods that actually empower and educate the population. That will ensure that population is stabilized and reaches a stable level before it falls down eventually. This is also important in the context of reaping the demographic dividend. So we have a situation where more and more number of children who are growing up into adults are added to the working population. Now if the economy does not create enough number of jobs, it would lead to a social unrest. So everything is very much dependent upon the empowering measures that the state takes. That is the gist of this article. So the next article is taken from the Hindu and it is titled "Daughters Have Equal Right to Inherit Property." This is a we all know that India has traditionally been a patriarchal society, much like many other countries across the world. Now, this judgment by the Supreme Court is a move towards gender equality and gender empowerment. So, what is the move? So, there is a key element of our courts wherein the Hindu ancestral property, whenever it is passed on to the next generation, generally male heirs were considered to be the sole owners of those properties. So it is to say that daughters never had this inheritance rights. Now, in 2005, understanding that this is a very discriminatory principle, the act was amended to include, and there was a section 6 of this particular act. This particular section included women also as legal heirs. But there was a problem which was created. The 2005 law granted equal rights to women. However, there were questions raised in multiple cases on whether the law applied retrospectively. That is to say, whether this Section 6 amendment is applicable only from 2005 or the date from which this law came into action, or even before that we can apply. So that was the first question which was put in front of the court. The second question was whether the living status of father has any bearing on this interpretation of the law. In these questions, various high courts have delivered contradictory judgments, and which has caused a lot of confusion across the country. Now, with this judgment, it was very clear that it is applicable irrespective of the status of father, whether he is dead or alive. And regarding the first question, the court said that as soon as the women took birth in a particular family, irrespective of the time period, she has equal rights on par with men. So this has clearly advanced the civil rights of women, and this concept can be used in the larger context of rights of women, gender equality and women empowerment. This can be used as an example in essay or also while writing your mains answers. That's it for the day. Thank you.